triumph for Scott Pendlebury. Good old Pendlebury forever. Collingwood's Mr. Dependlebury.
Warm it up. Driving up that top note, that cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners. That's a 10.
Point win over West Coast at the MCG. How fitting as well. SP10, SP433, 4 plus 3 plus 3 is 10, and you get a 10-point win over West Coast. Again, Saturday twilight at the MCG. Collingwood 13-14-92 to West Coast 12-10-82. Just over 90,000 at the MCG, myself included. 90,028 to be exact. I couldn't find or get any Scott Pendlebury merchandise at the MCG. I did order it online. I'm still waiting for this to be delivered, but I did get something more special. This bag of air, level 4 to be exact. $70,000 is what I am expecting the bid to be on for this one. I'll put this up on eBay as of Sunday. I am recording this just after 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. I've just gone home. Carlton, it's no longer funny anymore. They're beating opposition after halftime now. My mates are up and about sort of thing, so a bit of a big day out for me. Nelly, a disaster for Collingwood fans and myself included. We got smacked in the VFL. North Melbourne completing a 43-point comeback over Gold Coast after the siren. I thought to myself that the footy gods threw North Melbourne a bone for this game, or this day to be exact. Carlton beating Port Adelaide. I actually tipped Carlton as well. And thank goodness that we were in the middle of it, because I would have hated to see North Melbourne win. I don't hate North Melbourne, but North Melbourne winning for Boomer Harvey as his record's about to be broken. Carlton beating Port Adelaide, and then we lose to West Coast. All of Australia supporting West Coast. I've never seen so many neutrals barracking for West Coast like I've seen this week. And I remember the 2018 grand final as well, the aftermath. Nobody was celebrating West Coast winning. They were celebrating Collingwood losing. That would have been the exact same feeling and the exact same reaction to come from this game. So to come out of this game with a 10-point win, it's relieving. It's great to be back on the winners list. I get it. Nearly 28 days, a month, 4 games without a win, or 3 games without a win. We get the win here finally. 5 wins, 5 losses, and a draw. We will be inside the top 10 at the end of round 11, but it's not without its flaws, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. Just on Scott Pendlebury, just well done by Scott Pendlebury to break the record, and well done as well to Collingwood. We copped a lot of shit from everyone this week. The footy media, old man media, whatever you want to call it, Kane Corns, the main culprit. Social media all around the world, well, particularly in Australia to be exact. We copped it from everyone. Even Collingwood fans were getting tired by this, getting fatigued and whatnot. And it's sort of fair enough. I was pacing this out. I did see the news last week about how Geelong and Sydney could have been postponed or moved back sort of thing to give Collingwood and West Coast its standalone time slot. That was a bit far for me. There's all this talk about Pendlebury donating all the money he's getting from this memorabilia to charity and whatnot. Just a big, not the charity side, but the big clusterfuck all around regarding the hype of this one. It doesn't come around often. Players breaking the VFL, AFL record. We may never see it happen again. And if it does happen again, I'll clap whoever does it. I will celebrate whoever does it. I will hopefully be at the game, whoever does it. We could see Bontempelli break it in the next 8 to 10 years. McCluggage is on track, apparently, from Brisbane. After that, you're looking at another generation. So you're looking at 20 or 30 years before someone breaks the record, unless someone somehow gets through the next 10 years in their late 20s, early 30s unscathed. It could happen, sports science and whatnot. But well done to Collingwood, well done to Scott Pendlebury, not just for winning, but the celebrations of a great of the game, a club champion, an AFL champion. I don't think anyone at Collingwood would regret building up this special occasion for a special player. So well done to Collingwood. Also, well done as well for every player wearing gold for their number. Looked like a big fuck you to everyone that was complaining and clamouring on about the gold number 10. Well, everyone's wearing a gold number. I'm wearing a gold number myself. It's in my pants, but I'm not going to show you what number it is. And this was more than just a typical game. Obviously, it's someone breaking the VFL AFL record for most games played. So against West Coast, on the ladder, it's 11th v 15th. It's supposed to be a nothing game, but it was more than just a nothing game. It was bigger than a normal game, and we had quite the game play out as well. We can celebrate Scott Pendlebury all we'd like, and this build-up as well about how we penciled in West Coast for a guaranteed win, apparently. I never thought this was a guaranteed win. You can look at my preview, my team selections, final word video. I was on the May panel of Into the Woods. I was also on Mick's live stream last night talking about this game. Never did I ever think that this was a guaranteed win. I'm sure there's people thinking, oh, if we lost this game, look out, sort of thing. I was thinking that myself. But this was never a guaranteed win for us. And clearly, as the game played out, and might as well just get into the actual review of this game because it actually played out. A 10-point win. West Coast, fair play to you. You never gave up. You gave it a crack. You were down by 5 goals early third quarter. And I thought after halftime, we got that buffer. We got that separation that we can kick on and actually celebrate it in style. Give Pendlebury a goal as well to clamour around and whatnot. But West Coast with 3 third quarter goals to go into 3-quarter time, 11 points down. It was game on. And I was worried at quarter time and halftime as well because we're not so good after halftime these days. If we kick on after halftime, it typically means we win, but same with West Coast. So something had to give, and we got a stalemate pretty much after halftime. Not just a stalemate as well, but we are licking our wounds from this one. Darcy Moore with a hamstring injury. And for any Collingwood fans who thought Darcy Moore in the ruck, what are you thinking now? Now, granted, it's Darcy Moore. He was probably going to re-aggravate that hamstring, and it happened here in the ruck in the second quarter. I thought there was nothing wrong with Darcy Moore playing as a defender, a loose defender as well. He had, I think, 4 intercept marks in the first half, and then they moved him in the ruck. I think they did that because Dan McStay wasn't holding his weight in the ruck, and that's to be expected. We genuinely do not have a backup ruck right now besides Darcy Cameron. So for Darcy Cameron to lift after half time, that got us over the line eventually, but it's quite clear this coming Tuesday with the mid-season draft, we need a proper backup ruckman, someone that's going to come in straight away, be our second best ruck ahead of Iliro Smith and obviously behind Darcy Cameron, someone that could actually play next week against the Western Bulldogs. Dan McStay is not a backup ruck. Ned Long tries his ass off, but he's not a ruck, not even close. Darcy Moore, it must have been nostalgia or some sort of joke to have Darcy Moore playing as a backup ruck. I didn't ask for it. I've seen fans online asking for Darcy Moore to play in the ruck, and I get it. He's 203 centimetres or whatever. I think people mistake Darcy Moore for Mark Blitzarves. I don't know why with the reasoning, besides the height and whatnot, and he can read the footy well. But you have to remember, it's Darcy Moore. His body's banged up, and we were thinking about this in the early stages of Darcy Moore's career where he wasn't holding up, playing as a key forward or as a ruck forward. So we moved him down back. We got 7 good years, or 7 years of Darcy Moore as a key defender, 2-time All-Australian, Premiership captain, and his body's not holding up well in 2026. And the most unfortunate thing as well about Darcy Moore getting injured again is this was game 199. And I'll put my hand up. I had a Evolution tribute video ready for Darcy Moore for 200 games next week. But that's not happening, and it may not happen until at least end of June, early July. It's a second hamstring injury. He came back after 4 weeks previously, had a concussion, returned, now he's injured yet again. And we simply cannot have Darcy Moore, Billy Frampton, and Jeremy Howe in the same side for a consistent run at all. It's bullshit. So I don't expect Darcy Moore to be ruled out for the season. He's a mid-season pickup or whatever. Jamie Elliott, most likely, as of this recording, I'm going to assume the worst, not just for an ACL injury out for the season, but this could be worse. This could very well have been Jamie Elliott's final game of AFL footy playing for Collingwood. Out of contract end of next year, signed on for 2 years, thankfully. And I'm going to say thankfully because you're going to see fans online saying, oh, we should have never extended or never should have kept Jamie Elliott, given what we know now. That's all hindsight bullshit. So spare me that. I'm glad Jamie Elliott's a one-club player. I'm thankful for Jamie Elliott's. I've never seen such a hush for an injured player like that. And 90,000 people just holding their breath. I'd never wish that on any player. Apparently Tyler Young wishes that on Jamie Elliott, the fucking prick. But we were heading into the mid-season draft with 2 picks. I'm expecting that to go up to 3. Will Hayes with a dislocated shoulder. I'm expecting Will Hayes to miss 1 to 2 months of footy. This is, again, Saturday night recording, so scans could confirm something worse, and we could have 4 picks in the mid-season draft. But the wording from what I'm seeing is that Will Hayes will miss a significant chunk of the season, so he might return late July, early August. Anything sooner would be better for us. but I don't think there'll be a list spot open for Will Hayes. We could move the magnets with our small forwards. Bo McCreary could play predominantly forward again. Harvey Harrison, he could return as a forward or half forward. Rowan Steele could move forward, even though he's playing very well as that attacking wing role. And a few other options where we could move the magnets and certain players at half forward and the forward pockets and whatnot. Saxena needs time, but he's performing well in the VFL. And obviously, there's Bobby Hill, and we don't know when Bobby Hill's going to return. He still needs to tick boxes and make progress upon his return. So don't expect Bobby Hill to return anytime soon, at least after the bye for that matter. So Scott Pendlebury, number 10, 10-point win. But this was not a perfect 10 performance or a perfect 10 day for Collingwood. Injuries galore for us. Nick Dacos was banged up. Scott Pendlebury was down the race as well. So we're licking our wounds. And when the dust settles, you start to realise that, oh boy, we are long ways off the top sides right now, not even close to top 6. We are in the top 10 right now, or at the end of this round, but we have long ways to go. Bulldogs next week at Marvel Stadium, Melbourne for King's birthday, then the bye. I think we need the bye more than anything, but 2 opportunities or 2 games to get 2 wins possibly. There's also 2 games for 2 losses, maybe a draw in there, win-loss sort of thing. But yeah, it's a massive fortnight for Collingwood to get some grounding on our season, go into the bye, and then push on. I've been talking about Pendlebury and the injuries from Collingwood in this game, and very little about West Coast besides their efforts and their refusal to give up and whatnot. West Coast, they didn't find the blueprints, but for them to control the footy and play beyond their years for their maturity, and to hold up as well. Our forward 50 pressure was immense, and for them to hold up with that pressure, to get it out of defensive 50 and make that transition or quick transition, or sorry, just to reiterate, not quick transition, but a mature, lowering the eyes transition forward and finding targets inside 50, loose targets up forward, some bullshit goals for that matter. Fucking Malachi Champion floating through goals from the pocket and whatnot. But I did say in my preview video, the one thing that would stick out for West Coast would be their centre clearances. And they did beat us in the centre clearances. I thought Bailey Williams can hold his head up high. I'm going to go 51-41 Bailey Williams for the ruck battle against Darcy Cameron. Even though we won the game, I thought Bailey Williams played a better 4-quarter performance compared to Darcy Cameron. Darcy Cameron played second half better, but Bailey Williams was solid for 4 quarters. And it wasn't just Harley Reid we had to worry about in the midfield. Yo, Tim Kelly in the middle, Dersma at times. And surprisingly, they set up so well defensively. On the MCG, 9 West Coast players hadn't played on the MCG. You wouldn't notice, given their performance here, for them to hold up and lose by 10 points. Nearly claw back from 5 goals down early third quarter to somehow win the game. 16 points down with 4 minutes to go, and they never gave up. They fought to the end, coming off a decent win over the Giants. You'd expect over the next 3 games to pick up maybe 1 or 2 more wins before their bye. I don't know when their bye is, but this is a side who can get out of the bottom 4 this year and then finally push up the ladder and make themselves a finals contender yet again. Still a few years away, but they didn't use us as a stepping stone for a win today, but they've used this performance here to be proud and hopefully push on and get some upset wins for the remainder of the season. But I've been waffling on for most of this video, but just getting to the team stats here. West Coast winning the disposal counts, minus 31 for us, 357 to 388. We did win the contested possessions, +7. Hitouts, 32 to 30 West Coast, so Bailey Williams can hold his head up high there. -4 for clearances, -4 for centre clearances. Again, that was the one area where West Coast could beat us in, point of difference. They are a top 8 side for centre clearances in the competition, so something to build off for West Coast. Even split in the stoppage clearances. Collingwood +30 for tackles. You can never fault Collingwood's efforts and pressure around the ground. 21 to 3 tackles inside 50, +18 for Collingwood. -7 for inside 50s, but it was the efficiency inside 50 and the goal efficiency, the point of difference for Collingwood here. +21.2% differential for efficiency inside 50, 58%. 27 scoring shots from 50 inside 50 entries, and a few more scoring shots as well for that matter. Just the accuracy in front of goal, particularly that first quarter, was what pissed me off, and also early parts of the second quarter. But the goal efficiency, 26% to 21%, 13 goals from 50 inside 50 entries. The first quarter and a bit, our shot accuracy was poor, and then after halftime, just couldn't push on. So it's starting to feel like, and I'm a tennis fan, it's starting to feel like we're watching the later stages of someone like Novak Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, it's at a point now where we just have to sit back and try and enjoy the last bit of greatness before it's time to move on. And it's the AFL. You need to regenerate the list. And I think we're just chomping at the bits at certain players we're linked to try and regenerate the list because what we have now is not going to cut the mustard. It's not going to push for any threats. I was going to say December. I'm talking September, even wildcard rounds. 5 wins, 5 losses, and a draw. No wins against the top 6 side. We look closer to losing against the bottom 6, bottom 4 side compared to beating a top 4, top 6 side, and that's a worry for us. Bulldogs next week, Melbourne afterwards. 1 win, 1 loss from that wouldn't hurt. 2 wins would be better. 2 losses, we're in a bit of strife. But then we've got Port Adelaide and Richmond, 2 bottom 6 sides after the bye. Their positions may change. Richmond less likely, Port maybe. But if we lose those 2 games, both at the MCG, then we're officially cooked. But we are starting to approach the halfway point of the season. A lot more doubts for us as each week passes on. We're just waiting and hoping for that magical performance, not just a comeback win over a Carlton or anything like that, or a massive effort against Hawthorn for a draw and not getting a win the show for it. I'm talking that massive upset and that run, that push, that 4 5 game stretch, 4 wins from 5 games where it's wins over top 6 sides and that 1 loss was a valiant effort sort of thing. Uh, Maybe we're just chugging along sort of thing and we're just waiting for that bright spot, but it's not a good feeling right now. We can celebrate Scott Pendlebury's 433rd game, but when the dust settles on that, the celebrations are over. When we have to take a step back and look at how performances this season and also this game against West Coast, you start to realise we just don't have what it takes at the moment. We're waiting for that bright spot, but it's just not coming anytime soon. And I may as well bring up the player stats for the first time in ages. Scott Pendlebury, for obvious reasons, 433rd game, 20 disposals, 5 clearances, and 5 score involvements. If I had to be a negative Nancy, if you had to rank every Pendlebury game, 432 games, now 433, this performance here would be in the bottom half of his overall game count, but it is what it is. Pendlebury's due for a quiet game, so we got it here. Quite game, my ass. Nick Dacos, clearly our best on ground, 34 disposals, 3 goals, 7 clearances, 14 score involvements, only 50% disposal efficiency, but he's our best player on the ground here. He loves playing against West Coast, tag or no tag. Darcy Cameron, a great second half, 27 hitouts, 28 disposals, 21 contested possessions, and 8 clearances. We needed a big Darcy Cameron effort, and we got that here. He's up against Tim English next week and Max Gawn in 2 weeks. Oh man, we need a backup ruck. Did I say we need a backup ruck? If I haven't, I need to say it again. We need a backup ruck. Jack Crisp, solid in the midfield yet again. 28 disposals, 13 of those contested, 6 clearances and 9 tackles. Jordan De Goey, a better 4 quarter performance here, not just a fast start sort of thing. 25 disposals, solid for each quarter, 7 tackles, 8 score involvements. Should have had a goal in the 3rd quarter, but it was a free kick West Coast and they reversed it. So Nick Dacos gets the goal there. Jamie Elliott, 3 goals, 10 disposals, 9 score involvements, also 4 tackles, all inside 50. I mentioned that because West Coast had 3 tackles inside 50 for the game. So for Jamie Elliott to have 4 tackles inside 50 in what could very well be his final game ever, I'm hoping it's not the case, but uh, just didn't look good, unfortunately. And then I get into the players who stood out for me, not in the best on ground sort of category, but players that stood out for the right reasons. Rowan Steele, 12 disposals, 2 goals, a couple of clearances, and 5 score involvements. Lockie Schultz, 17 disposals, a goal, 4 tackles, also like Jamie Elliott, all inside 50, and 7 score involvements. I did predict on Mixed Stream last night not 17 disposals, 20 disposals and 2 goals. I was just off by 3 disposals and a goal, not far off. Byron McCreary, not back to form sort of thing, but 18 disposals, 8 score involvements, and 5 tackles. Hopefully he can push on from this because he's been very inconsistent, out of form sort of thing. Hopefully he's able to push on and have a good solid 2 week block after this, go into the bye, and then push on from there as well. I keep saying pushing on. But Ed Allen, he wasn't best on ground sort of thing. If anything, from the stats, he's in the bottom 6, but 9 disposals, 5 of those contested, 5 tackles, and a very good goal in the 2nd quarter. We need to persist with Ed Allen in the midfield and just having him in the best 23 for the next 2 weeks. We're going to have a few selection changes yet again. Hayes, Darcy Moore, Jamie Elliott. I wouldn't expect to drop anyone from this, even though it wasn't the best performance, but Angus Anderson, carryover emergency. Jack Buller, 3 goals in the VFL. Maybe you debut Swatling or Harvey Harrison comes in. I wouldn't have a handful of changes anymore. I'm sick of these 3, 4, 5 changes sort of thing. It's going to be at least 3 changes, I know. But just make sure it's forced changes. We don't need to be dropping anyone off performances and whatnot. Keep the group steady is what I'm trying to say. But I'll try and wrap this video up here because I am waffling on. It's longer than expected, this sort of review. Half of it's about Pendlebury, the celebrations, the injuries and whatnot. The performance barely touched on, to be honest. Could have gone a little bit more in depth, but it is what it is. This game was more than just a game of footy, and thank goodness we're back on the winners list. 10-point win, 5 wins, 5 losses, and a draw. Maybe we use this as a catalyst to push on and improve. But look, that's all for this video. Leave your thoughts down below. Your thoughts on the celebrations of Scott Pendlebury, the game, the performance, the injuries, even the VFL as well. There's no VFL report, and obviously for good reason, because the VFL was a few hours before this game, and I don't want to review or do a VFL report on that performance against Werribee. Bit of a joke, a disgrace, to be honest, that first half. We lost by 5 goals. Nobody besides Jack Buller put their hand up for certain positions, but I'll leave the selection speculation for the preview to the Western Bulldogs game. I might have a couple of videos on the mid-season draft and who we pick up during the week, so it might be a bit scattered for the next few days for my uploads. Preview to the Western Bulldogs game, team selections, final word video, and maybe previewing the mid-season draft. We've got 2, possibly 3, maybe 4 mid-season picks, and then maybe a video on who we pick up. But it's all a watch this space. I can't guarantee it, but I'll leave you guys all to it. I'm hoping you guys had a good weekend, and I hope you guys enjoyed the game as well. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the pies.